welcome in everybody to another episode of the Brett Allan Show, a pop culture video and podcast where we talk to your favorite actors from film, television, music, comedy, and more. And today we have a fun conversation. We're talking about the CW's All-American and one of the stars himself, Hunter Clowdus. Welcome in, my friend. It's great to have you.
Oh, it's so great to be here. This looks amazing. I feel like it is literally game time. So I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, now you're in a studio. Do you do a lot of audio recording and things like that? I'm very curious because this is a really sick setup that you have.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so when the pandemic first started, I really felt I was missing a lot of interactions because carpets were down, interviews were down, guest appearances, things of that nature were down. So I said, well, the most intimate setting is most definitely inside my home. So I built out this studio and I started streaming on a platform called Twitch, and I go under the name of King Cloudus. And it started off, I was just trying to find my feet. So I'd play some games and do some just chatting. And quickly I found like the one-to-one interaction that you get on there is just, I've just fell in love with it. And the community that I have on there now just keeps me coming back. So yeah, every Sunday at 6 p.m. PST, I get on there for about an hour and answer questions, talk. It's the best time. But yeah, that's where this studio kind of spawned from.
Okay, well, so I know there was, now that I'm thinking about it, there was a lot of like speculation at one point, I think, if that was really you out there interacting with fans and stuff like that. But that's great. We'll make sure to get a link for that so we can put it in our show notes if people want to join in
Thank you.
and be a part of that platform. But let's talk about All American. This is just a really great show, such a phenomenal cast, and really has found its legs and so to speak, and just really taken off about a football drama. There's a lot going on, but you play one of the main characters in the show, JJ Parker, and this season, man, things have really picked up and heated up. There's a lot going on right now with this show.
There's a ton going on. I think this is our best season yet. And I think that just stems from the fact that it's so dynamic. It's moving so fast. Whereas the first three seasons, we were in high school. I think tonight's episode, and it is February 21st when we're recording this, we graduate. So right after that, we're going to college. So there's just so many things that are moving, so many moving pieces. And, inevitably, when there is that, there's some good things that happen. There's some bad things that happen. There's some stressful situations that have to get worked out. So this season, we've just really kind of, put on our seatbelts, and the writers have done a phenomenal job of giving us so many different levels to play with.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're considerably older and you have characters that are high schoolers and then they make their way into college. How do you get into a mindset to play that? I mean, I don't think it's been a little bit of distance since you were at that point. I think most of these dramas, though, a lot of the actors play younger but are considerably older. Do you go back and talk to friends? I mean, what is kind of your mental process to get into the game? Did you, and also two-pronged question, did you play football in high school?
I did. I love that two-prong question. I'm going to use that. I'm still in that. That's a great way to put it. I did play in high school, and yeah, I feel like physically, right? We perhaps age, but mentally,
Yeah.
It feels slower, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like the older you get, you still feel the same emotions that you did as a kid, whether it be some anxiety, some happiness, some sadness, some anticipation, some depression. I mean, you never outgrow the fundamental emotions that are tied to being a human being. So it on paper perhaps feels like more of a stretch than it is, but no, I think we just go and we bring life to the words that are on the paper. And yeah, perhaps the setting has us in high school, but again, I think the subject matter is so foundational that it kind of transcends age for the most part, because again, just as human beings, we deal with these components that you never really outgrow. So yeah, that's how we navigate through that. But yeah, I started playing football at the age of 8, tackle football. And I played all through obviously elementary school, middle school, high school. I played quarterback. So it was really cool to get the opportunity to do it on a show, 10 years later. Really, really cool energy. And it's just been a blast. Football days are always so much fun to shoot, just because the camaraderie, not just between castmates, but between all the stunt people that come on, because they all played college ball or pro ball, so they're all super talented and gifted, and we just kind of get to go out there and forget we're making a TV show.
Yeah. Did you ever watch a show that was on, I think it was CW Friday Night Lights? Did you ever watch that's such a great show. And I got to be an extra one time in the crowd for one of those seasons where they were playing football. That stuff's really happening out there. Like it's like you're really out of game. Obviously things are switching and moving because you have stunt people or sometimes actors are playing these parts, but you guys just do such a fun and believable job of everything that's happening. And the show really lasting this long is spectacular because people love it. And there's just a lot of things happening. Your storyline, of course, people I think are fascinated with. Looking back on season 1, and I believe now we're in season 4. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
4. Yeah.
How have you matured as a storyteller, really, and taking this character from somebody who might be considered from the outside in, kind of a jerky kind of guy, but really, like, there's a lot of depth to your character too. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen him mature. How do you feel that you've matured as a storyteller in this character for so long?
Yeah, man, I love that question. Thank you so much for it. And really cool fun fact, that's how I started my career, was doing background work. I started in Atlanta. I promised this production that I knew how to play lacrosse. The production was
Of course you
MTV's.
did.
It was MTV's Teen Wolf. And
Yes.
they said, so you can play lacrosse. And I said, 100%. And they said, okay, you're booked. I immediately called my buddy who actually was a college lacrosse player. And I said, hey, bro, you got to teach me how to play lacrosse in like a day, because I got to drive to Atlanta tomorrow to shoot this TV show. But yeah, so I just have this forever love and gratitude in my heart for background, just because that's really where I learned set etiquette. That's where I learned the hurry up and wait that this business is. That's where I learned, you go to work for about 12 hours a day. That's where I learned a lot of really humbling lessons that make me appreciate where I'm at now. So I just wanted to touch on that. And clearly I love it so much. I forgot the 2-prong. I forgot the other prong, because I wanted to touch on that. What did you say again?
How have you feel like you've
Matured.
matured as a
Yeah.
storyteller with this character over the 4 seasons, going from this young, kind of cocky high school kid to now he's had a lot of experiences, a lot of ups and downs with his storyline, and now, as you said, they're moving on and graduating on to college.
Yeah, I think one of the main things that I've done, I've just grown as a person off the show, and I've been able to bring that back and infuse it in the show. I remember when I booked this, and I think with any role, especially as a young actor, or just, we can say, a young human being in life, you want to be cool, right? You
Yeah.
want to be cool. You want to be accepted. You want everybody to think that you just hung the moon. You want everybody's heads to turn when you walk in the room. And there's something about owning who you are
Yeah.
that is so sick. There's something about wearing a BA hat that you're a badass. You're Brett Allan, the badass. And when you were younger, perhaps you didn't have the confidence
Right.
to run a freaking podcast, to make the connections that you have now. But you grew into owning who you are as a person. Your talents, your gifts, what you bring to the table. And if you love you, great. And if you don't, cool. It doesn't slow you down one bit. So that's the little life lesson in it. But for me, it was finding that. It was going into this as Hunter, trying to play this character named JJ, who I wanted the world to think was super cool. And the way it was written, he was cool, but in a different way. And I almost had to humble myself and stop trying to act, and I just had to let JJ be JJ and not be judgmental towards it. There's something about his quirkiness, something about his willingness to take his clothes off at any moment, or wear a crazy patterned, button-down shirt and scream "hell yeah" on top of a table. There's something about his looseness that does make him attractive, that does exude confidence.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I owned that I found who JJ Parker was. And really, again, the show helped me in life, because when that clicked on the show, I was like, oh, I need to do that with myself. I need to really double down on my strengths. And granted, we all have weaknesses, but life is so short. Why give them any mind? Like, let's play to our strengths. Let's embrace who we are. I think our superpower is the fact that there's no one else on planet Earth that is exactly like us. We are one in literally like nearly 8 billion. Like, dude, that's crazy. So we can just lean into that. I think that we find a confidence that we didn't know was there. And that's what I tried to do in the show, and then also in my personal life as well.
Well, it shines through completely, and just one of the nicest people I've had the privilege of chatting with. Such a great show. Again, we're just kind of excited to see what happens next. And one last question. Again, all the things that you've done, what was it that interested you in becoming a storyteller? Like, what made you go, this is something that I want to pursue? I know you mentioned the background work, but was there anything kind of before that, or was that the moment for you where you're like, hey, this is for me?
Yeah, I from the bottom of my heart and soul, I really appreciate the way that you have phrased all of your questions, in particular that one. It's so cool, and once that clicked with me, that it was storytelling over acting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, that's a huge difference. Even on my Twitch streams, I'll say, I'm not a content creator. Ultimately, I'm a storyteller. And we almost just act as a vessel. And hopefully we can do so with enough confidence, where we can freely allow thoughts to come and go. And then hopefully hold our breath and be able to convey them and communicate them in a way that is digestible to a complete stranger. And that is such a gift. That is like such a gift as an artist, as a storyteller. Like, that is it. And I think that one of the biggest things for me, arriving at this point where I could embrace that, was many ups and downs. There was never a clear path of like, oh, I'm an actor. As a matter of fact, I didn't start acting until that role on Teen Wolf, and that didn't happen until I was 21 years old. Prior to that, all I lived, breathed, slept sports. And then I went to the University of Alabama, which I'm wearing an Alabama Roll Tide shirt now, pre-dental. And I thought I was going to be a pediatric dentist. And then I dropped out of school, moved to Atlanta, and started acting. I always just tried to give everything I did, everything I got. Sometimes we don't know if the door is open unless we try and open it, unless we put some pressure on it, unless we push. And then if that doesn't work, maybe we pull, and then maybe we wave our hand in front of the sensor and see if it's an automatic door. Like, in life, you have to try things. And I think that's what led me to where I am today. Again, I didn't know that storytelling was my passion. Again, I thought it was, throwing a touchdown pass. But really, it was when I would look in the stands, it was the emotions that my actions provoked and evoked from other people. I was like, wow, this is powerful. So again, I had it tied to throwing a touchdown, but really it was the power that was in inspiring people that I didn't know. And again, I think ultimately it was that led me into this world of being an artist and a storyteller. And that's what I hold so near and dear to my heart, is the privilege and pleasure that it is to perhaps help someone with their perspective in life. And maybe it's a lesson they've heard a million times, but perhaps I can deliver it in a way that it hits their ears a little different that day. And it can give them some hope, some joy. It can put a smile on their face. That is why I do what I do.
I love it. Well, I'm feeling motivated for sure. This has been a fantastic conversation. Everybody, please be sure to watch All American on the CW, starring our guest, Hunter Clowdus. It's available now. Check him out on Twitch, King Clowdus. I'll figure that out and we'll get it in our show notes. Hunter, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Brett.